Hey guys and girls, it's Logan Hall. So I made a lot of videos about the COVID-19 pandemic and just what I have and I've shared my thoughts. But one thing that I really haven't discussed yet um is um is face masks. So basically um and there's been a lot of change over this since this first started. So when this first started, the CDC said not to wear face masks. Not only because they found out that they just weren't as effective, but because uh the because our doctors needed them more than we do, and that is true. That is something that about the doctors needing. That is true. They do need them more than us, and that has not changed. Um, but the more studies that have been done since then have said that face masks uh, are a lot more effective than first thought. Um, to the point to where a lot of places like uh like like governments to like certain businesses, a lot of places have started to require the wearing of them. And because like the recent studies that have been shown have said that like if you wear a face mask, then it won't base then of course, whenever, because like talking is basically like when you talk, then you're transmitting particles. And here's my thoughts on it. So what about the CDC's so of course and I do, it really does it, I do kind of agree with that. I do think um that wearing a mask is definitely the most important part to you know preventing COVID-19. I mean, even more than social distancing, because like, you could be like, say like if you're in a really crowded place, like to the point where there it's so crowded, but then you have everyone's wearing a mask, then that's something to where um then there's no way that it can spread if everyone wears a mask, cuz um I feel like if you do wear a mask, then you won't need social distancing. And because if it covers your nose, it covers your mouth, then will what way can it spread even if there is no social distancing? So, but of course, so the CDC's original statement, I mentioned that our doctors need them more than we do. That is not something that has changed, regardless of the studies of how effective they are. So the question is, now if we need to wear a mask, how can we prevent shortages? Well, e- don't buy those surgical masks. Instead, like if you can make a mask that out of like cloth or something like I've got a camo one here that my grandma made. So really, or something like this. But I'm not gonna wear it now because I'm by myself, and there's, even if I have it, there's no one to spread it to now. But I do wear this. I'm wearing this quite a bit now, just because of how effective it is. And something else that has come under recent discussion is the fact that people are making some some people are claiming that the what is it, Americans with Disability Acts, the ADA, prevent prevents you from wearing a mask, and people are like making. Some people I know are faking it with making these cards and saying that that they're not required to disclose their condition with you. Here's my thoughts on that. Just I am going to take this a bit more seriously than a lot of other people are. So, and yes, there is I think that there is, those cards are fake, but I think that there is some truth to the ADA portion of it. Say you have something like say, what if you do have asthma or COPD, and if you wear a mask, it makes it harder for you to breathe. So, if you feel, as you know, if you feel like, if you don't think that you can, if you think that wearing a mask will make your condition worse, okay, my suggestion is don't make those fake cards or something. Okay, go to your doctor and tell him, I think my condition is going to make will make wearing a mask worse for my health. And so, and I your doctor and I'm sure your doctor will like write you out a note or something like that. Now, if your doctor won't write you a note, then find another doctor. Because if you because your condition is serious. If you can't wear a mask, then don't try wearing a mask if it makes you hard. If it makes it harder for you to breathe. Um. So anyway, if a doctor does write you a note, and say you go into some business and then they tell you that you need to wear a mask, show them that note, and they really can't turn you down. If you have a doctor's note, then they really can't refuse you service. If they do, then I do believe that you can sue under the ADA. And of course, this is just something that's really just started, so of course, it might make it to the Supreme Court, and of course, if it ends up going to the Supreme Court, then of course it's law of the land now. If so, but I believe that if you do have a breathing condition, then you should not be wearing a mask. And people will, of course, I've heard a lot of people say, well, then you need someone to like do your shopping for you or something like that. True, if yeah, that is something that I would recommend. But of course, there are those people who actually have a job. They have to make a living, and they have to go to work. They don't have a choice. And and you can't have someone do your work for you. You've got to do that work yourself. So, in order to get paid and feed your family and all that stuff. So it's just not something that they can really help. Um, and of course, I am a bit more lenient about staying home than a lot of other people. That's not something that's changed as much. I do, if you believe that staying home will affect your mental health, then just get out of your house. But I mean, of course, wear a mask and all that stuff. But do whatever you think it. If you think that, do whatever you think is best for your health. Um, um, so yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the whole face mask thing, and I think I've covered about everything uh, that I was gonna say. So thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out.